Good afternoon, church. All protocols already established, observe. No more that burly gait. No more that joyous face. No more that resonant voice. No more on this earth, my brother, Ralston Dibble Williams. Yet in my heart he's here, in my bones, in my marrow, Dibble lives on. In my memory, in my every conscious moment, he stands beside me, as he always did. My brother and my friend, my true friend. The chain of love he forged has not been broken by his untimely death, nor has it been in the least bit weakened. If anything, the chain has grown stronger, reaching beyond this mortal life to that better place where Dibble must be, laughing and happy in the companionship of the Almighty. I do not pretend that I do not feel anger at his loss. I do not pretend that my heart is not bursting with the grief of his passing. I do not pretend that I do not question why. And I do all these things and I cry inside as I weep outside. For Dibble did not deserve to die so young. I wish to express the sympathies of my family and of the entire constituency of St. Peter's to the family of Ralston Dibble Williams. Their loss, my friends, I say is my loss. Their pain is my pain. We all of us grieve together today. And let me quote with the words of the poet Sir Rudyard Kipling, slightly modified, as you would say. And I quote, "Now neither foes nor caring friends can hurt you, and all men count with you, but none too much. May you still talk with crowds and keep your virtue, and walk with kings nor lose the common touch. May you cross the river Jordan and rest on the distant stone. May you find truth and love and beauty, and stand with the rising sun once more to speak and write and dance to your lyrics and teach us, our beloved son." He acted in the living present, his heart within, his God above. Today the footprints of Ralston Dibble Williams is in the sands of our life, and times inspires us to good, faithful, selfless service for God and for country. And we extend our deepest condolences to his children, Laurie, Lenitha, and Prince Williams, to Debbie, the mother of his children, to all his siblings, and to his brother who's here today, and to all the members of the entire Williams family. For today we mourn the passing and we celebrate the life of Ralston Dibble Williams, my friend, my colleague, my constituent, my comrade in arms. We all feel the deep sense of loss of a loved one who is cut down in his prime, enjoying the fullness of life still filled with so much hope, so much dreams, so much love and so much to give, so much more to share. For Ralston Dibble Williams was still a man in his prime. With today's health care, 55 years is still young, and none of us expected him to be cut down so suddenly. And as the songwriter says, time like an ever-rolling stream bears all his sons away. They fly forgotten like a dream dies at the opening of day. For Ralston Dibble Williams' contribution, his boundless energy, his wisdom, and his leadership will not be forgotten. He'll be forever in all of our hearts. But this extraordinary, cheerful, fun-loving, generous, and even optimistic man, Ralston Dibble Williams, he would have said to us in this moment of grief today, death must not find us thinking that we die, because all of man is heart, is hope. All of man can fly like a bird, rise up and soar in fulfillment. For Ralston Williams would remind in this final sleep that he did not sleep to dream, but dream to change the world. And so we must not take his death as a sign and symbol that we do not know the hour of our final parting. It may be sudden, it may be long, it may be now, it may be later. But whatever and whenever, we must know that those who would sum up our lives can confidently say that we work by the sweat of our brow and the brow of our brains to change the world. And that for sure and in sum was true of Ralston Williams as it is true of all true remarkable citizens. We'll all miss him, but his family will miss him more. And to them, we say today, he'd wish you to celebrate his life, not suffer his death. He'd want you to claim the things he has done, not regret the things undone. He'd want you to remember him, but in so doing to live your life to the fullest, using his life as a guide to your own happiness. And so we salute this worthy son of our soil, this selfless scion of our land, this man with an easy style and ready smile. We weep for Dibu. He's dead, dead and gone. Gone too soon, gone too suddenly, gone too finitely from the commanding heights of life, of love, devotion, and surrender to the guidance of the stars, for the work of the righteous and the cause of the just. What a testimony of sincerity of purpose. What a wonderful human being. What a beautiful part of us we have lost. My brother and friend, Dibu, also known as Coach, the Rasta who never smoked ganja, was everything but tall. 5 feet 4 inches was all his maker blessed him with. But little is much when in human development duty we stand. Dibu was tall in service, tall in loyalty, tall in passion for the things he lived, as Ambassador Gardner just said, and loved, and taller yet for the joys of success and the lessons from failure he left with us. Dibu was a committed student of football. He studied, he trained, he certified his knowledge and skill sets at every opportunity that he got. He was a motivator, encourager in chief, strategist, counselor, and servant leader. A meticulous, organized perfectionist. He planned the work and he worked the plan. He pushed his players hard. Mediocrity was never acceptable to him. It wasn't easy finding the discipline to meet the high performance demands of Coach Dibu consistently. But his players understood that he only wanted what was best for them as successful players and exemplary citizens enjoying lives of purpose, honesty, and dignity. I did not grow up with Dibu, but our time spent together seems like I've known him from childhood. Our friendship grew closer by the day, as did our arguments over sometimes what appeared to be absolutely nothing. Dibu just enjoyed an argument. My first encounter was not with the outstanding cricketer, footballer, or singer he could have been. It was Dibu, the politician, the warrior for justice, the crusader for change. Indeed, it was difficult to decide in my own mind whether Dibu's first love was sports or politics. For when I decided in 2001, and forgive me for saying so, but to enter the political arena, as an elected member of parliament, Dibu was in the handful of people from St. Peter's constituency who met with me initially to agree on how we would work together to get me elected to the parliament in 2004. Our first challenge was a primary with my opponent, who was from Plabam and was well known and respected his entire family in the community. But Dibu started his campaign before anyone, including myself. All he asked for was a rental car and a loudspeaker. He traversed the entire length and breadth of the constituency of St. Peter's. And I'm disappointed today, and I say so fearlessly, not to see more of the constituents of St. Peter's here at Dibu's funeral to pay tribute. He was fearless on the microphone, and his organizational skills were exemplary. He was on the Param block by the bus stop day and night arguing vociferously why I should be the candidate rather than my opponent. And we prevailed. He played a pivotal role also in setting up and opening up both constituency offices and computer schools in Param and Pays Village. Every single election, Dibu was at my side. I did not have to call him. He was always there, ready and willing to do the hard work and get the job done. And in every single respect and every aspect, his support was unwavering. And this Christmas, I'll miss him dearly. When planning and executing my community programs, he was a staple leader in ensuring that all the areas of the constituency, whether you were red or blue, were covered. Dibu was loyal to a fault. The St. Peter's branch of the Antigua-Barbuda Labour Party will miss this stalwart, and today we say thanks for his exemplary loyalty and outstanding service. But when in 2000, Dibu felt that the financing for the Param Football Club had become inadequate for the development program he had in mind, Dibu convinced me to take over the sponsorship. My fondest memories of him take me back to his assignment as coach of our Param team in the national championship. For whether it was preparing for the season and the importation of overseas players or just a typical day of training, Dibu was passionate. I can almost hear his raspy voice directing me with enough decibels for all of Param to hear. Write the check, Asat, because my players come first. Write the check. Under the leadership of Coach Dibu, the Param Football Club, known then as the Boys from Brazil, won 6 Premier Division titles of the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association. His passion for football and his keen eye for talent were first spotted by the former Brazilian technical director, Dr. Walter Gama, who readily co-opted him to the national team and encouraged his growth. Dibu always referred to the opportunities created by his very dear friend and former Antigua and Barbuda Football Association General Secretary, the Honorable Chet Green, to receive training on all continents. He even fought for Mr. Chet Green, the Honorable Chet Green, to become the president of the Param Football Club. Dibu was a fast learner and was elevated to the position, as we were just told and know, as technical director of the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association, the first and only local indigenous black person in this country to hold that position. And now, I call on the leadership and membership of the ABFA to honor Dibu's memory. It may be controversial because a lot of people before and currently alive have also done a lot, and great football players for football in this country. But it's my opinion and my humble recommendation that I ask the ABFA to honor Dibu's memory with the formal naming of the National Premiership Championship in his name, the Ralston Dibu Williams Premier Division Competition. Such an honor will chronicle for posterity his historic elevation to the esteemed position, as well as serve as motivation for others to emulate. Our dear departed Ralston Dibu Williams was controversial, and he loved every single minute of it. He took on all the football purists who challenged his recommendation and my decision to invest in overseas players, to bolster the strength of the Param outfit and positively impact the overall quality of the National League. He withstood much criticism about his policy of blending local and overseas talents into a single formidable club, a policy which over the years not only won him championships, but also national recognition, as the vast majority of clubs in the Premiership followed his lead, and as the saying goes, the rest is history. Dibu would say, "I know what I say. You guys don't understand football." I can almost hear him bellow in defense of his conviction that his model was for the greater good. There's no denying that Dibu's vision had a positive impact on the overall standing of our country's FIFA World Ranking. But before his passing, he strenuously disagreed with me on the need for a review of the policy to allow for greater visibility of local talent. And I believe such a review is required at this time to facilitate sustainable development and exposure of homegrown talent on the regional and global stages. As a result of that disagreement, I withdrew my sponsorship for the club last year. But Dibu soldiered on, and so deep was his conviction and principle stance, he actually paid for the importation of the overseas players from his own pocket. In October 2017, Dibu was diagnosed with cancer and began a difficult uphill battle to be cancer-free. But like the lion-hearted champion coach that he was in his glory years, striding up and down the sidelines of the Antigua Recreation Grounds on game days, belting orders and shouting encouragement to his players, he fought and won the early battle. He continued his coaching assignments in schools and as national director. He never lost a strand of hair. He never seemed weak, but the war was too much for him. 2 weeks exactly before he died on Wednesday, 7th of October, at 5:56 p.m., he sent a message on WhatsApp, and I quote, he said, "Asat, I'm dying. I would not be able to fight your political battle with you." I replied, "What do you mean that you're dying? You looked so well when you came by me last. What is happening to you?" And he said, and I quote, "I have electric waves from my waist down and also feeling numb where I had the operation in my legs. I went to the hospital. They told me to come back." We had lunch the Saturday before he died. He was not feeling well. So we made an appointment to see the oncologist at Mount St. John, Dr. Dandon, who had taken a special interest in his recovery and well-being. And Dibu was admitted for observation the night before he died with no indication that he was about to leave us. Dibu read Bible verses and prayed with a group of friends and well-wishers from Param, to include Bubbler, Jim, Barbara Carr, and others. And then came his peaceful exit to the great beyond. No being earns life forevermore. Hence each of us will surely die, but our Creator knows for sure the time, the season, where, and why. Today a great soul lies in sleep, a handmaid of the Master's plan, a saint in God's own safety keep, a mystery still unknown to man. Dibu was a good man. He was truly a remarkable coach, a trustworthy friend. He was so admirable to the sporting profession and indeed the football fraternity. But grieving relatives, other mourners, friends, in deference to my departed respective mentor, now I close. I now comply. A throbbing heart is stilled, a weary soul at rest. The breath of life is chilled. Death holds no bitterness. His journey's at an end. His victory now is won. He's with the Lord and friend. I thank his caretaker, Kendra Codrington from Param, and also I pay respect to Marina Cristina Rio, his girlfriend from the Dominican Republic who went above and beyond to take very good care, and Joella in his final days with us. Now I wonder what the next birthday and Christmas will be like without the kind and touching words of love and gifts of friendship from my soulmate. For every single Christmas, he gave me a beautiful Christmas card, and every birthday. Make a play, Dibu. Make a play. Let's win one more for the boys from Brazil. Let's win one more for sports. One more for football. One more for Param. And one more for Antigua and Barbuda. The original, inimitable, quintessential Ralston Dibu Williams. February the 3rd, 1965 to October the 14th, 2020. May his soul rest in everlasting peace and rise in glory. Thank you.